I remember that night vividly. The night I asked my wife the question that had been gnawing at me for months. We sat across from each other at the dining table, untouched plates before us, the silence between us heavier than any argument could have been. Her phone buzzed again, and she smirked, a cold, detached smile that had become all too familiar. I couldn't hold it in any longer. I looked her directly in the eyes and asked, "Sophia, why did you even marry me?" For a moment, she simply stared back, unreadable. Then, with a cruelty that only someone who once vowed to love you could summon, she leaned back and said, "Because I had no better choice." The words hit me like a sledgehammer. No better choice. I had spent years believing we were partners, that our love meant something. And now she was telling me I had been nothing more than a placeholder until someone better came along. My face went pale, my heart pounding in my chest. Every night I stayed up waiting for her. Every sacrifice I made for her career, every shared laugh and tender moment, all of it shattered in an instant. She noticed my reaction and didn't soften. Instead, that smirk returned. "Don't look so shocked, David. You're decent enough. But let's not pretend you were ever my dream. You were convenient, stable, safe. That's it." The air in the room felt suffocating. I stood slowly, gripping the edge of the table to steady myself. I wanted to scream, throw something, demand why she had wasted all my years. But instead, a cold clarity settled over me. I walked to the study, retrieved the folder I had been quietly preparing for months, and placed the divorce papers on the table between us. "Thank you for being honest, Sophia," I said calmly, "because now I am too. This marriage is over." For the first time, her confidence faltered. Her eyes flicked to the papers and back to me, her smirk wavering into something sharper, defensiveness. "Divorce? Don't be ridiculous, David. You're not serious," she scoffed. But I was. For months, I had prepared for this, organizing bank statements, securing my accounts, making sure the house was legally mine. Her words tonight hadn't broken me. They had freed me. I sat back down, keeping my voice measured. "You just admitted it yourself. You married me because you had no better choice. That's not love, Sophia. That's not even respect. And I refuse to be your safety net any longer." She crossed her arms, scoffing. "Oh, please. You think you can just throw me away after everything I've done for you? Who cooked for you, cleaned for you, stood by your side?" I let out a bitter laugh. "Stood by my side? Sophia, you've been gone more nights than you've been home. You roll your eyes when I speak, mock me in front of your friends, and now you admit you settled for me because no one else wanted you. That's not partnership. It's humiliation." Her mask of superiority cracked, anger flashing in her eyes. "So, you're really going to end it? Just like that? After all these years?" I leaned forward, steady, "Not just like that. I've been ending it quietly in my heart for a long time. Tonight, you just gave me the final push." Her phone buzzed on the table. She grabbed it quickly, but not before I caught the name lighting up the screen. Ethan. The pieces I had ignored finally snapped into place. The late nights, secretive smiles, the way she guarded her phone like it was precious. I shook my head slowly. "So that's the real reason, isn't it? There was always someone better in your eyes. You just didn't have the courage to admit it until now." Her face went pale, and she said nothing. That silence told me more than any confession ever could. For the first time in years, I felt a strange sense of peace. Hurt, yes, betrayed, absolutely, but also free. She finally found her voice, shaky now instead of smug. "David, wait. You're overreacting. Ethan is just a friend. You're twisting things." I smiled sadly. "Friends don't make you hide your phone, Sophia. Friends don't make a wife come home at midnight and expect gratitude for even showing up." She opened her mouth to argue, then shut it, realizing I wasn't the same man she had toyed with for years. The power dynamic had shifted, and she felt it. I picked up the divorce papers and placed them gently in her hands. "You don't need to worry about finding a better choice anymore. You're free to be with whoever you want, but you won't be my burden any longer." Her eyes glistened with anger and maybe even fear. "You'll regret this. You can't manage without me. You're nothing without me. I laughed softly, shaking my head. No, Sophia, I became nothing with you. Without you, I finally get to be someone again. For a moment, the room was filled only with her shallow breathing. She stared at me like she didn't recognize me, as if the meek husband she took for granted had been replaced by someone unshakable. I stood, walked the door, and opened it wide. Go on, Sophia. Ethan's waiting. She grabbed her bag, stormed out, and the echo of the closing door sounded less like an ending and more like liberation. That night, sitting alone in my home, I realized something profound. She hadn't just freed herself. She had freed me. I no longer carried the weight of being someone's last resort. I no longer had to prove my worth to a woman who never truly valued me. The next morning, I called my lawyer. For the first time in years, my voice didn't tremble. I was done being an option. From now on, I would be my own choice. And as for Sophia, she would soon learn that treating someone like a consolation prize always comes at a cost. Losing them forever